Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Brett's Brain. Today, we're going to talk about some red flags that investors see during a startup pitch. Hey, I'm Brett Brohl, former entrepreneur, current venture capitalist. Thanks so much for checking out the channel. Like, subscribe, share. Our goal here is to help entrepreneurs succeed. So if you have any questions, ask. We'd love to answer them in future videos or just in the comment section down below. Okay, you're an entrepreneur, you're pitching an investor. Here's some red flags from the investor side that are really common that we see all the time. It doesn't mean we won't invest when this happens, but it does raise that little flag that's like, not so sure about these entrepreneurs or not so sure about this company. All right, let's dive right in. Number one, talking over your team. So if you're on a call and you have multiple founders on the call at the same time, and you start talking over each other, red flag. How do they communicate? Who's really in charge? What's the relationship like? It raises all these questions that you can easily avoid by just giving your partners, your co-founders, space to talk. Similarly, if you join a call with an investor and let's say there's two of you, a CEO and a CTO, and as an investor, I ask a technical question and the CEO answers it, red flag. Why did you bring that person? There's no point. The CEO, should lead the conversation, but as soon as a question is asked that somebody on the call is more qualified or theoretically has the title to be more qualified to answer than you should hand it off. Say, hey, Mary, why don't you answer that question? So hand it off. If you have three people on a call and one person does all the talking, red flag. Make sure that the appropriate person on your team is asking the questions that are relevant to their role and position. On this same thread, if you are talking and pitching an investor and always using I, and not we, it just sends like a little flag of, hey, is this a team or is this a one-man show? So be careful of the I's. If you have a team, if you have partners, make sure we talk about we and we are building, we are moving to this thing. Now, a little bit of a different area and a personal pet peeve of mine is knowing your numbers. You have to know your numbers, especially if they are core KPIs to your business. If I ask a question about how many users do you have or what's your revenue, really basic things that you have to know as the CEO of your company, and you say, let me check with my fractional CFO, or I have to go back and look that up, it's a huge red flag. At the earliest stages, the CEO has got to know all of the core metrics and all of those things that are incredibly important to their company and organization. So make sure you know them. Another real pet peeve is name dropping. It just doesn't matter. You don't need to name drop, right? Like who you know or having a celebrity investor doesn't really matter that much unless it's super strategic and a part of your actual go-to-market plan or an actual part of your business. It just is like, red flag, name drop. Like, don't worry about name dropping a celebrity investor. Don't worry about name dropping somebody that you knew back in school that gave you the idea. Just own your idea, your go-to-market, the traction you have. The business is what needs to shine through, not who the people around you are, unless they're like actively working full-time on your company. That leads us to the next red flag, which is representing different people in different ways where they might not be full-time on your company. And so this often comes up with advisor slides. This often comes up with co-founders. Just be honest, like who's full-time, who's not. Like we do as an investor need to know who's full-time on your company. And so just own it. If right now you're the only full-time founder, great, but just own it and be clear with that. And don't try and, make the picture seem a lot rosier than it actually is. And that is a general trend overall, which is be honest. Every single startup has issues. Every single startup has really hard things that they're facing. So don't try and say everything is rosy, everything is great. It's a huge red flag when we talk to a company and the CEO basically says there's no real hard challenges in front of us. Like, that's bull. We know that startups are hard. We know that there are challenges that are keeping you up at night. We want to be helpful as an investor. We don't want to just give you money. We want to help with advice and help remove roadblocks and help with connections. Tell us the hard stuff. And the crazy thing is about sharing the hard things is that when you say something's going really well after you just told me something's like actually really tough, I believe that the thing that's going really well is actually going really well. But when everything's just super rosy, it's kind of like, all right, something's missing here. They're not telling me everything. I'm not getting the whole story. So beware of telling an investor everything is rosy and everything is perfect. Make sure that you're transparent with the challenges that you're also facing. All right, that's a quick list of a few of the red flags that we see pretty commonly when we're getting pitched by new entrepreneurs. Make sure you avoid those. Make sure you don't fall into those traps, and your pitches to investors will go far more smoothly. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this out. If you have any questions, let us know. Be happy to answer them in the future.